Hello there, and welcome back to the SWTVC podcast, the audio home of the SWTVC crew and the ongoing push for the continued existence, expansion, and success of the heritage scale of Star Wars collecting. I'm your host, Evan Fries, or as you may know me on Instagram, at Mile High Ground. My co-host today is a man who needs no introduction, but is going to get one anyway. Some say he has a mustache that'd make Antok Merrick blush, while others say he's a little tall for a stormtrooper. Personally, I say he's a hero. I just hope he can swim. It's at the Vintage Concepts himself, John Lindquist. How you doing, bud?
Good. How are you?
Oh, fantastic.
Yes, as always.
As always. So, not about to buy a $70 carbonized set. That's for sure.
Are you winking at me when you say that? Because I'm going to get booted off the podcast if I reveal the status of what I'm, purchasing in regards to that set. So I think let's just move on that subject.
For sure. No wink on my end, but yes, no, you're on thin ice, dude.
Oh my God.
Speaking of things that suck, mail call. Nothing for TVC, huh? Have you gotten anything?
Nothing at all. Nothing.
Cool.
As I said, yeah, the first half of October was a deluge, and now it's absolutely nothing for a while. Still waiting on a couple things. Our British pals are getting the Obi-Wan set. Waiting on the Dark Trooper, waiting on the Cal Wave. There's a lot coming, but it's not here yet. Target did finally ship our Obi-Wan lightsabers after many, many weeks of delays, as we've discussed before.
Yeah, that I think mine shows up tomorrow.
Okay.
In the time it took them to ship it, I got the Legacy set, and Shop Disney restocked the Legacy bundle of the Obi-Wan series version of the saber. Currently in stock right now. So if that's something you want, John, if you need to double dip on some Obi-Wan, I quadruple dipped. So that's what I get.
What, you got the Anakin and Obi-Wan set from Shop Disney?
No. So
you got the three pack of Obi-Wans. Okay.
Yeah, I'll have 5, but I got the 3-pack of Obi-Wan. So I've got, it's got the Revenge of the Sith one, it's got the Obi-Wan Kenobi one, A New Hope. Then I've got the Obi-Wan Kenobi one coming in from the Hasbro version. And then I'm tempted to get the bundle to have another Obi-Wan from the Legacy. And then I hope to get the Revenge of the Sith one at some point.
Yes.
If I can, have enough money to buy Twitter and tank it. So
yes.
working on it.
It'll be going up for sale probably very soon is what it seems like. But yes.
It feels like that every day. I did notice, not on the list, Amazon also shipped out the retro Dengar and IG-88 set.
Yes,
as well.
That's true.
So I think
we were just getting that as we recorded last time.
Mine shows up tomorrow. No, we got the Boskin Boba Fett last time.
Yes. There's so many of them, and then there's a new one which we'll be getting into shortly.
Yeah.
But yes, I got the Dengar set yesterday. I think I haven't opened it yet. So.
Yeah, if it's anything like the previous one, boy, it's like those card backs are paper.
Yes, I posted they were super thin. I don't know why that is, because we know they're using the good card stock for vintage, so I don't know.
You know what? I'm not too sad about it. Retro's supposed to look crappy anyway, so
I guess.
Whatever.
But
as long as TVC's fine.
Yes. And there has been a lot of shipments for Black Series, but it's all been in the wacky repaint category with credit collection, gaming grades, not as wacky, but more heavily on the repaints, I guess, and holiday edition. But hold that thought. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah. Should we kick things off here? It's a pretty nice, cozy, relaxed episode we've got for you guys today. So I hope you're curled up by the fire with some hot cocoa and some roast pork or something. And
some Java juice or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's before we dive into that theme, though. What?
Yes. Speaking of which, while we're on the beverage train real quick, I'll say I did go to Galaxy's Edge last weekend, all of Disneyland last weekend, but I finally got to try the calf that has like Cocoa Puffs on top of it. Oh my God, it was next level. It was fantastic.
I need to get my ass back out there. I've been
it was amazing.
To go,
I hadn't been since before COVID, so early 2020 was the last time I went to Disneyland at all, and I used to go all the time.
Yeah,
and got to go to the Paris park, but yeah. Again, more Disney stuff coming up later on this episode. Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah.
Keep listening. But pour some Cocoa Puffs into a pot of coffee if you if that sounds good to you. It doesn't sound good, but it is good. Trust me on that one. So
I
that's your
believe
tip
you.
of the day.
I thought
Thanks.
I thought the blue milk was good, and I preferred the green milk.
I do prefer the green milk. I got it this time. It was like with the Toydarian swirl.
Yeah.
And there was like chunks of mango in it that I was not expecting. And it was like kind of like drinking boba tea or whatever. It's like you're enjoying a nice beverage and then suddenly something hits the back of your throat and you're like, I didn't want that to be there.
I'm trying to have a refreshing time, not eat or choke. So
yes.
Whatever. I wonder, I don't think Luke ever had to deal with mango chunks in his green milk, but I don't know what those thalasirens do. So
maybe thalasiren hair, but that's probably it.
All right, let's move on from that.
Oh boy, yes.
So there's been some reveals.
Yes. The first one was Arc Commander Colt, another part of the Clone Wars 20th anniversary, another Walmart exclusive. So hopefully that means a fan channel shared exclusive down the line, as has been the case for this past year's Walmart exclusives. Priced at $16.97, the same as the previously released Arc Commander Havoc, who is another Rancor Battalion ARC Trooper. So we're still waiting on Blitz with the yellow armor. Are we expecting Hammer? Poor sweet forgotten Hammer. He kind of looks like if Colt was just less visually interesting. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up for that guy. But this Colt is the trooper who gets stabbed and then kissed by Asajj Ventress during the Battle of Kamino, which was censored in early repeats of that episode, I recall.
It would be so nice to have a TVC Ventress to go with this figure for the Clone Wars 20th. I'm just going to keep repeating that over and over and over until something happens on that front.
Yes, dare to dream. So far, all we've seen for the Clone Wars 20th for Vintage has been 2 clone troopers, and in general, also a clone trooper helmet. I think that's it so far. So hopefully there's a lot more to come, but we do not know. Speaking of wondering if things are new or not, the head sculpts. I saw a lot of people commenting that, oh, look at this great new head sculpt. Guys, it's Jesse. It's got to just be Jesse again. There's no reason to spend the tooling money. We already have a perfectly well sculpted, tooled, bald ARC Trooper on this body. When it came out in the 3-pack, there was the bald Jesse head and then the Fives and Echo head with hair. I don't think the chin beard is sculpted, but they've reused the head with hair on all the Battlefront figures, and we haven't actually seen what Havoc looks like under the helmet, I don't think, on the figure. But Colts, my money is on it just being Jesse again. And the images that Hasbro provided, that the PR company provided, have his hair photoshopped onto them, which you can see if you look closely. And if you can...
Sorry, you say look closely.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to look that closely to see. When those first came out, I was like, what happened here?
The first images were like a little compressed. They were revealed by Games Radar. And yeah, once the higher res ones came out and you can compare the different angles, it was like, oh, his hairline is 100% different across the various angles. They did not compare it. They did not check their work against each other, I guess. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out.
How many unique clone head sculpts are we at right now in TVC?
So on the ARC Trooper body, and I don't know how the barbells and the articulation all shakes out, there's one with hair, one without. I believe the Boba head sculpts are probably not just Jesse again, though they could be if they really wanted to. I think he's a little bit older looking. And then there's so that's 3, I would say. And then, so yeah, 2 ARC Trooper heads, a Boba head, and then the 3 unique ones in the Bad Batch pack / the Clone Trooper set, which is like the angry guy who's on the lieutenant, and then 2 with kind of a regular haircut, and then 1 with the Captain Hauser cool guy haircut. So 6-ish. Okay. Some of them look very similar to each other, but I think they're constructed differently to fit on the different kinds of neck pegs. I might be forgetting some, but
I just know as I've been doing some preliminary balance the scales stuff, trying to keep track of what's new and what's not new is getting tedious more and more each year, especially with these, clones. I mean, so many clones.
Yeah,
that's okay. Well, it's good.
I know you're not as enthusiastic. I'm happy to, if they're going to do it, I'm happy to see this guy. They didn't quite get him perfect in the Clone Wars line, but he did go up a week ago at the time of recording, and pre-orders are still open. where typically the Walmart figures will sell out that day, usually. So not sure why that is. We can speculate, but we do not know.
Did Havoc sell out?
I think so. Let's check right now.
Through the magic of podcasting, we'll smash cut to John knowing the answer.
He is out of stock.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah. Anyway, nice to get another one, I suppose, if you're into that sort of thing. I'm into that sort of thing. I respect if you're not.
Yeah. I'm not against it. I'm not. I enjoy it. It's just when it's the only thing, I get a little, time to check my watch and tap my foot and see if something else is happening. So
something else is another Tamora Morrison based figure, which is Boba Fett in the Kenner colors. You want to run that down for us a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So it is a Target exclusive. We were originally told that this was going to go up on November 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which came and went. And then we were told, no, it'll be up November 16th. So the day this podcast is released, that means it went up yesterday. Allegedly, we'll see. Check back.
Who knows?
Yeah. That's the first time that Boba has been on a Star Wars card in TVC proper, yeah?
Mm-hmm. He was released on the Star Wars card in the rocket firing mail away figure back in 2010. Might have actually shipped in 2011, but the figure had the Kenner style sculpt. Say that 5 times fast. I can't even say it once.
Yeah.
But yeah,
the precursor to retro, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. So I just actually spent more than $21 on that.
Okay.
I actually just ordered it the day that they revealed this Boba, but after the announcement. So it was after the reveal, so it doesn't really count as one of my infamous fateful purchases of like splurging on something that's expensive and then a version of it comes out that's less expensive.
Did you see the new one and that inspired you to get the rocket firing one? Okay.
Because it's been one of those things that I haven't been like actively looking for too much. Sure. It's one of the few, since it's not numbered, I'm only missing of the actual VC numbers. 66 and 67, which is the Mouse Droid and Salacious Crumb.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 proper numbered ones that I'm missing. But then the VCP is what the special is. P for promo, is that what it is?
I think promotional, yeah.
4LOM and Zuckus had those VCP 1 and 2, and then this Boba was VCP 3.
And they dropped that numbering system entirely.
And then it became and then they went to VC000 for the first HasLab, and then Has000, and then skip it. Whatever. It's all numbering. It's fun. It's great.
It's all, they don't care, so neither should you. That's what I always say.
Yeah, unfortunately, I do care. So there's plenty of things that no one cares about that I do care about. So
that's why we're, there's plenty of stuff that I'll care about that nobody else will, which we'll be getting to in about 5 seconds. But
if you catch yourself thinking, I don't care about the minutia of the history of this Star Wars figure, guess what? This ain't the show for you.
Yes.
So John, if you want to keep catching us up on some Boba.
I'll say this figure uses the super articulated 2021 Return of the Jedi sculpt again, but now with the vibrant colors of the original Kenner figure, similar to what Black Series got in 2019. You may be saying to yourself, Master Qui-Gon, I've been wondering, what are the Kenner colors? Well, sit down, my young Padawan, and take a listen to this.
Just to interrupt your flow.
Yes.
I know you've been frothing at the mouth to cover this so many times.
So maybe I'll give that rundown after I get into this. But yes. So I'm going to do a Tyler Sigh real quick. Because it's a very cool figure. Not quite what I was looking for, but we'll get into it. Yeah. So during pre-production development on The Empire Strikes Back, after a number of design concepts from Ralph McQuarrie and Joe Johnston, Boba Fett's physical costume was created a number of times and painted a number of different ways. So, of course, we all know the initial unpainted, all-white prototype so-called Super Commando look, which Hasbro has released as figures a number of times, including as a vintage collection mail-away, following up on the rocket-firing version. So after that all-white initial prototype costume, Lucasfilm produced a few different color variations with different armor pieces, some of which ended up in The Empire Strikes Back, and some of which ended up in Return of the Jedi. These are generally called the pre-production costumes, or pre-pro for short. And there are 5 sub-variants of this look, just to be as pedantic as possible. But generally speaking, for the pre-pro look, Boba's right gauntlet was red. His left gauntlet was yellow, sometimes called the ketchup and mustard look. His jumpsuit was blue. His jetpack was colorful like the Return of the Jedi version, and his gloves sometimes had circles on them. That's the tell. Those are the tells. So the first pre-pro version had the quote-unquote eyes on the helmet, which eventually in canon and legends became known as Jag eyes and appeared on Captain Rex's helmet in the Clone Wars as a tribute to that look. The second pre-pro version does not have those eyes, but was the costume used for a photo shoot that resulted in the image seen on the original Kenner Boba Fett card, and in the blue, red, and yellow colors seen on the Kenner figure. Photos of this version, you've probably seen them. They've appeared for decades on magazine covers, reference books, and even the 1995 Power of the Force 2 Boba Fett figure, which also has the circles on the gloves, and the OG longtime collectors will remember that as a hot commodity back in the day. Does he have the full circles? Does he have a half circle? It was a thing, kids. Look it up. So this version has been released as a realistic collectible by Hot Toys, Kubrick, and Jakks Pacific. Hot Toys even kind of did a more realistic version and a more vibrant Kennery kind of version. All this is to say, as cool as this new Kenner Colors figure is, it's not really a modern upgrade of what the original Kenner figure was based on. So, Kenner wasn't just pulling these colors out of nowhere. They were based on an actual physical costume made by Lucasfilm. That's what I want to see released in TVC. I want the pre-pro design in TVC on this card. That's what I was holding out hope for. That's what I was wanting. I said, I know they're going to do the Kenner Colors version first. I can feel it in my bones. Zanny Storm's coming up. But this is what we got. So, never going to balk at a Boba Fett repaint opportunity, Hasbro. But just let's get that pre-pro in there, please. And BobaFettFanClub.com has great research on this, which I am basically regurgitating now. So kudos to them for compiling the images and keeping it all straight.
You said you would never balk at a Boba Fett. Did you balk at the price?
I'm saying Hasbro wouldn't balk at the repaint opportunity,
okay.
But yes, there's balking all around at this price because it's $20.99. That's a lot. Same price as the recent Boba Fett Morak, which was based on the $26.99 Boba Fett Tatooine figure. Which, I don't know. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's not like... It's the same sculpt. It's less detailed deco. There's less paint hits, and we all know that Hasbro loves to talk about their paint hits on figures. It's simpler than the basic version that was $12.99.
Doesn't have the weathering, yeah.
No weathering. The only accessory is his rifle.
They removed the soft goods cape, which matches the Kenner figure.
Oh, good. So there's even less in there.
You're getting even less, yes. And the droids version a year ago, or which ended up coming out this year, was $15.99.
Yeah.
The Return of the Jedi version, which was a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, was about $12.99.
Yeah.
Which is that sculpt. I don't know how they were. I still don't know. I know he's very expensive and all that stuff, but I don't know how they were able to get that figure in the basic line for $12.99. And then,
well, think about the way that he was in was Grogu, so a little thing.
Yeah. So maybe that was a way that they kind of shifted the cost around in that wave. But
and Zutton, another figure we'll talk about, was also in that wave. So a reuse of an older thing. Yeah. I don't know. The price did rub me the wrong way. I think it is pretty price gougy. It's pretty egregious. Very much that Boba Fett tax that folks like to talk about. This is a very prime example of it, where there's no reason this should be $20.99 at all, ever. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. And, this also goes with Target. The retail partners also do have a say in setting the price for these things. For these exclusives. Mm-hmm. So, while Hasbro likes to be, Hasbro is pretty much the scapegoat right now for having overpriced toys. It seems that Target was really happy to play ball and continuing that trend for Hasbro. So it's tough. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I just paid more than $21 for an even worse version of it from 12 years ago. So, hypocrisy, Evan is thy name, but what can you do?
I'm going to buy it if I can, if they'll let me.
It's not as bad as we're talking about the all white Boba Fett. Black Series is getting a repack, just a straight reissue of their 2014 version. That was a Walgreens exclusive in 2014. And now it's an Amazon exclusive in the new mural packaging. It's been out for pre-order for a while. It is now Amazon's price. Amazon has adjusted the price of that for a single repack of a 2014 Black Series figure. 0 updates, 0 paint. Zero paint, really. Minimal accessories. It's $50. They're asking $50.
They're asking $59.99. It's even worse than that.
Is it $59? I thought it was $49.99.
That's what it is now. No, I'm looking at it right now.
What? So it went up
and
again.
sold from Amazon.com.
Because it was $49. Oh my God, dude.
So
something's wrong, dude.
Unless, I mean, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say, because I know they do a lot of the third-party stuff, and this one looks like it's from Amazon directly, so maybe it's not. Maybe just, I don't know, maybe it's a...
The $49.98 or whatever version from just last week when I last looked, that was definitely like sold, shipped, fulfilled. It was definitely an Amazon thing, not a third-party seller. That is... woof, that's awful. So it's not woof the character. It's that's awful. So
yes, I'm looking at it to confirm the image you sent. Yes, it was $49.97. That's nuts.
It went up another $10.
Yeah.
So maybe they saw the social media posts about that last week and they were just like, ah, you. So
they hate the price. Let's make it even worse.
Oh, that sucks. I'm really glad I am stepping out of the Black Series game even harder.
Well,
so
I'm glad I got that for $20 8 years ago.
Yeah. You got it for less than the TVC Kenner version.
Yes.
Is today. Wow.
That's sad.
Yeah, we got to move on. I could linger on that for a while. So speaking of Black Series having stuff and Kenner colors, let's go back to that.
Well, exactly that. So TBS does already have a handful of Kenner color figures, including Boba, Obi-Wan, Greedo, Jawa, and now Admiral Akbar. Is this something you want to see continue for TVC? Maybe, we always talk about the wacky repaints, but these at least have precedent. I think I think like a yellow-haired Luke would be really cool after they get the real A New Hope version out there, or the Obi-Wan they did, which is kind of like all brown robes and white hair, could be cool after they do a real good version. That's to entice them to actually release those characters in Vintage Collection.
Yeah, that's of course make definitive versions, make new versions of those figures. Yes, and then do whatever. Yes. Like this Boba Fett, that figure's so good. I'm here for I'm here for the repaints and the reissues of whatever they want to do with it. If they did a Kenner Obi-Wan, I'd be all over that in a heartbeat. I would love that so much. Greedo would be pretty fun. I think Greedo would be a fun one to do.
All the Cantina. I think if and when, because they still need to update some of the other ones, they could release all 4 in a set or a couple of 2-packs with their Kenner colors, with their Hammerhead's goofy blue jumpsuit and Greedo's neon green onesie. But
Funko did a Kenner colorways set of pops for Ponda Baba, Momo Nadon, and Greedo. Walrus Man, Hammerhead, and Greedo. I would love a convention exclusive once we have new versions or updated versions of those figures. I would love a 3-pack, like a convention exclusive Hasbro PulseCon exclusive 3-pack of like the Kenner colorways Cantina aliens. I think that'd be rad.
And they could put out, as we're doing the Finish the 96 stuff, they could put out Walrus Man on his original airbrushed card if they really want to get that version out there.
Yeah.
Something like that, something to make it pop a little bit. But Vintage Collection does already have 2 figures in their original Kenner colors, which are 4LOM and Zuckuss, which were released in a set back in 2010.
I just mentioned that VCP1 and VCP2.
Yes, and so another reveal for all the Retro Collection fans out there.
All dozen of you, including us.
Yes. It's a 2-pack of these very same guys. An Amazon exclusive, $27.99. Stings a bit, and that doesn't sting as bad as a $60 Boba Fett figure from 8 years ago, but...
No, that makes that go down a lot smoother.
Yes. But these guys, following hot on the heels of the Dengar and IG-88 set and the Boba Fett and Bosk set, all from Amazon, this completes the Empire Strikes Back Bounty Hunters in Retro Collection. I guess Boba came out, was that 2020? But the other guys came all out within the space of like a year.
Mm-hmm. They completed the cruise, but not for Vintage Collection.
Yes. So yeah.
So
still waiting for Zuckuss to have his new modern name and movie accurate colors in the Vintage Collection. I think the Legacy Collection figure is pretty good, and he was supposed to be released in TVC, as the Blue Milk book pointed out, but was replaced with For LOM, keeping their confusion going. And still waiting for Bosk and IG-88 to make the jump from vintage Saga collection to TVC proper. Hopefully, IG-88 can get some updates from the IG-11 mold, which is fantastic. Waiting on those guys. We're always waiting on those guys. But anyway, it's a time to celebrate, not time to be sad. It's the holiday season, folks.
Yes, it's the holiday season. Let's try to take those sad beeps and turn them into happy beeps a little bit. And you know what? Let's talk about Life Day. I hear that's a holiday. Maybe it's today, the day that this episode comes out. If you're listening to this later, it was not today. It was days ago. So
it's the Life Day season continues all year round.
Yeah, every day is Life Day if you're not a casual.
Yes. So Life Day, November 17th, is of course the day that the infamous 1978 holiday special aired once and only once. Of course, it lives on in our hearts and via YouTube rips. If you haven't seen it, and I don't know if I recommend you see it, but I enjoy it. Have you seen it?
Yeah. It's an oddity for sure.
It is an oddity is a charitable word to describe it. Yes.
I've seen it a couple times. I had a crappy version that I had burned to a DVD at one point. I don't know what happened to it. It's killing me not having, I want all Star Wars in physical media so I can just go to my shelf. For the longest time, the holiday special was the only thing you couldn't get. And now you can't get any of the new stuff because it's exclusive to Disney Plus. So, I mean, I get why Disney does that. I don't like that. It's been 3 years since Mando came out. I think it's okay to put it on a Blu-ray disc at this point. I'm sure anybody who wanted to see it already paid for Disney. Yeah,
I don't get it, but yeah, you can get a physical copy of like the VHS release. It was circulating for years and years in the convention circuit before YouTube and all that stuff. But do you really want it? So yes, I've also seen it a few times. I think last time I saw it was last year. Every few years I'll force someone to sit down and watch it, which sounds very sadistic, but I do enjoy the process. So,
but you haven't seen the Ewok movies.
I have not seen. I've seen the holiday special maybe 5 times. But I have not seen I've seen the first Ewok movie once. Okay. And the second Ewok movie. Judge me as you will.
No, it's not judgment. I just think your priorities are fascinating.
This one has more camp value.
Yeah.
This one has more, it's more interesting.
It's got undoubtedly a greater cultural impact. You don't have 30 Rock making jokes about the Ewok movies. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
I have a little bit further down on the outline, but it is a bizarre time capsule that firmly places Star Wars in the time when it was first released, with the original cast, of course. But it has a lot more in common with TV of the time, variety shows of the era, than it does with really anything else in Star Wars.
Yeah. It's like if someone spilled bleach into the Muppet Show and then totally forgot what makes anything charming and good and watchable. But
yes.
How about you walk us through a real quick summary of the holiday special, John?
Sure.
You've got that kind of laid out really nice here.
Yes, all off the top of my head. But the story of the holiday special, if you can even use the word story here, is that Chewbacca wants to get home to his family on Kashyyyk, seen for the first time here, called Kazook, as it's pronounced here. He wants to get home for Life Day, the Wookiee holiday that's somewhere between our Thanksgiving and Christmas. The special aired a week before Thanksgiving, but it's considered a Christmas special, somewhere in there. So while Han tries to get Chewie home, Chewie's family basically just sits around the house and waits for him, passing the time by watching stuff. So the special is us watching Wookiees watch stuff. It's very meta, very strange. It's Inception before Inception.
Christopher Nolan is a hack.
Yeah. He was watching this in 1978 wide-eyed going, there's an idea here.
It's the same backwards as it is forwards.
Yeah. The holiday special would make as much sense backwards as it does forward, I think. But yes. But so what does the family watch? So Chewie's wife Mala, or Mala Tobuk, watches a cooking show hosted by a 4-armed chef named Gourmanda as she prepares Bantha's surprise.
Stir, whip, 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 stir. So good.
It's amazing. Again, she had to have inspired Dexter Jetster with his 4 arms, and that's just amazing stuff. So Chewie's father, Itchy, also known as Adichitkuk, not quite as wholesome. He watches a hilarious name nowadays, yes.
Yeah, I've actually never really thought about that name or said it out loud myself. So you saying it, I thought, beg your pardon, John.
There's a Battlefront Wookiee whose name I don't think I can even say on the air.
Cool.
Which is related to it that is very hilarious. And I'm sure the developers knew what they were doing. But so Itchy feels the itch, and he watches what's essentially VR porn in the living room, grunting and writhing the entire time. It's insane. The cutaways.
Yeah, so many close-ups on his face.
Yeah. Enjoying himself a little bit too much. And then you got sweet Lumpy, Chewie's son, Lumpawaroo. He's watching a lot of things. A holographic circus act, getting way too excited about it, clapping. He's watching a manual for building a comms device. And most interestingly, he watches the best and perhaps only good part of the holiday special, a cartoon about his own father's exploits with the rebellion called The Story of the Faithful Wookiee, which was produced by Nelvana, who later produced Droids and Ewoks. And notably, it's what first introduced Boba Fett, you heard about Boba Fett, to the public. It's the only part of the special that Lucasfilm has released in any official capacity, which is available on both the 2011 Blu-ray set and on Disney Plus under the Vintage Collection heading. The animated segment of the special uses the voices of Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, all of whom also appear in the live-action segments of the special, which is insane.
They look miserable.
They look like they do not want to be there. Harrison Ford, spoiler alert, once he gets Chewie home, he basically hugs everybody for 2 seconds and then is like, I got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I do not want to be here, which is kind of, also his vibe going into The Force Awakens and a lot of Star Wars for the past several decades. But it's very apparent there. And the cartoon also has the voices of Anthony Daniels and James Earl Jones, who are also, they reprise their voices in the special.
Fun fact, it's the first time James Earl Jones was credited as the voice of Darth Vader.
Oh, wow. That is actually a very fun fact.
Yeah.
He appears in the special elsewhere just using recycled A New Hope footage, which I think is interesting. Yes, and speaking of the dastardly agents of the Empire comes looking in Chewbacca's home for any rebel activity. But thankfully, with quick thinking, they're distracted by watching more stuff. One officer watches a holographic Jefferson Starship performance of Light the Sky on Fire, which is fantastic. But then, while they're there, the Empire appears on the screens. And what do? Do they put them all in an Imperial prison and force them to build stuff? No, they force everyone to watch another thing. They're just watching. God, it's so much watching of stuff here. They were, presaging our Disney Plus lifestyle where we're just watching streaming things all day to pass the time. But
the holiday special is essentially a reaction video.
Yeah. Oh my God, totally. That's how they'll market it to Gen Z now. But so the Empire forces everyone to watch a little slice of life documentary / live stream, live feed. It's unclear about the poor citizens of Tatooine, so that everyone else will feel better about their lives, apparently. But it leads to the cantina scene featuring B. Arthur as the singing bartender Akmina, which is notable because it shows off many of the creatures from the Mos Eisley Cantina under much less flattering TV lighting, alongside some new creations, my favorite of which is Teek Sidbom, who is just Ponda Baba again, with his original flipper hands. It's kind of cool to see. But since they cut off one arm from his jacket for A New Hope, they had to cut off the other for the holiday special. So now he has a very chic short sleeve jacket. Wow, I'm just stumbling all over myself today.
I like how they only had one jacket.
Yeah. This is all we got. We can't just have him with this one short sleeve. Yeah.
I would just love it if they did like a new version where they dust it off and we get another Ponda Baba or another, Ponda Baba, like instead of Teek Sidbom, it's got some other glup name. Yeah. And he's got sleeves sewn back onto the jacket. You can see where they're sewn on.
I would love that. That would be an amazing Easter egg in something.
Yeah.
It's going to be in the Andor finale, I'm sure. His orange jacket actually would fit very nicely in with the residents of Ferrix. I'll just throw that out there. So
It would.
Tony Gilroy, make it happen, please. So the special ends with dozens of Wookiees in red robes, which were cheaper than full Wookiee costumes. It's just an off-the-shelf Chewbacca mask, actually.
It's not like they spent much money on the Wookiee costumes.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Wookiees are gathering at the Tree of Life, listening to Princess Leia sing a song set to the main theme from Star Wars, which is spectacular. You can feel the cocaine emanating off the screen.
Yeah.
While C-3PO laments the fact that he and R2 are not alive. It's real weird. And I love it.
I mean, in 2022, you could do a really great modern deconstruction of this whole idea. And of course, it would be incredibly divisive for the fan base. But I'm here for it, man. I hope that's what a droid story is. I hope a droid story picks up from this thread from the holiday special. So
3PO and R2 trying to celebrate Life Day because they're not alive.
Yeah.
Why not? So, yeah, as we said, Lucasfilm has never officially released the special, and George Lucas himself didn't work on it other than some of the Wookiee homeworld lore and Chewbacca's family and whatnot, and famously did not care for it. It still has led to some merchandise over the years. So we're here on this podcast. We got to talk about the figures.
Oh yeah, that's what we do here. I forgot already.
That is what we do here. Yes.
Cool.
So Kenner did create prototypes of Chewie's family, with Itchy and Mala being basically based on the Chewie figure. Never made it out. Kenner designer Tom Troy also did some drawings of a possible creature, Boba Fett sea serpent from the animated segment. They didn't make it out. Sad to say. I would love them. But there is one holiday special figure in the Kenner line, Snaggletooth. If the Boba Fett deep dive wasn't enough for you, here's another one that's even worse. So
this one legitimately confused me. So I'm really glad you laid it all out. I feel smarter. I feel lonelier, but I feel smarter.
The only friend you need is Snaggletooth. But yes, I remember. So there was a Secret to the Cantina panel by Tom Spina, noted Cantina expert, at Celebration 6 in 2012. I saved a photo of this moment because I knew I would talk about it at some point in my life. That point is now. So get excited.
Cool. Yeah, we got to post that photo.
Yes, it's very blurry, but yeah, it's what you get. So
it was 2012. It was the before times. No one knew how to take photos then.
It was an iPhone -6 is what I had at the time. But so according to that panel, the process of the vintage Snaggletooth designs is this. Lucasfilm had 2 average height red-suited Snaggletooth costumes while filming the original Star Wars film. Now known as Snivian characters Zutton and Tequil, seen around the cantina and the streets of Mos Eisley. They sent Kenner black and white reference photos of one or both of those costumes, which Kenner used to make the figure, resulting in the incorrect blue-hued Snaggletooth figure available in the Sears exclusive Cantina Adventure set, the famous blue Snaggletooth figure. When designing that, the Kenner designer added a logo from his business card, which is the distinctive triangular belt buckle. That's where that design comes from. Then when designing a new Snaggletooth costume for the holiday special, using one of the masks from A New Hope with some added teeth and hair and stuff, Lucasfilm took the belt buckle design from the Kenner figure, translated it onto the new costume, which was now a short, red-suited Snaggletooth named Zutmore, as Akmina calls her in the special. Well, confused yet? Hold on. There's a little more. Kenner then took that character, Zutmore, turned it into the single-carded Snaggletooth character in the classic Kenner Star Wars line, adding new short legs onto the existing tall blue figure. So never let anyone tell you that Hasbro reusing old parts is a new thing. The Kenner card back also shows Zutmore from the holiday special. So that is an actual holiday special figure in the Kenner line.
Forever immortalized.
Yes, but still needs to be immortalized in Vintage Collection that's finished in 96. Please, for the love of God. Hasbro has done a number of Snivian Snaggletooth figures in the line, including Tequil in the Power of the Force 2 Cantina Aliens cinema scene in the late 90s. They did the holiday special character in Power of the Jedi, really Zutmore, but they released her as Zutton. Then they took that figure and did the reverse of what Kenner did, turning it into a blue Snaggletooth figure in a Kmart exclusive 3-pack by adding Ponda Baba's arms and legs to the torso and head sculpt. They did a new sculpt of the real A New Hope Zutton character in a 2012 Target exclusive 3-pack, which they put on a TVC card last year as Zutton, which they consider original 96 adjacent. So we still need the original holiday special card and figure updated in modern standards in the line. And then they can repaint your blue and all this stuff. So yes, that's my Snivian pitch.
Was the blue version released in the Kmart exclusive? Was that the Cantina set? From the original trilogy collection?
Yes, that's the one that had. They had a couple there.
There's one with Wooher and whatever.
Yes. There was I can't remember the exact breakdown right now. I probably should. Let's find out. But Obi-Wan was in there. Ponda Baba was in there at one point. There was an older Dr. Evazan in there. Because originally Walmart released 3 separate Cantina bar pieces with individual figures, which were slight upgrades to Greedo, Hammerhead, and I think there's a couple Ponda Babas in there. I don't know. We're not here to talk about that.
No, I was just curious because I was like, oh God, do I have that blue Snaggletooth? Like the new one, not the original. Of course I don't have the original. I'm not, I'm not God. Yeah, I'll have to double check because I've just been going through all my old stuff, old carded stuff, and I think I have that.
Yes.
Really interesting. It's super interesting hearing some dude say, yeah, I have an action figure from 20 years ago. Who wants to touch me?
That's what our podcast is. Yes. I'm looking at Rebel Scum, but originally it was the 3 packs, the 3 individual figures with the bar pieces, Greedo, Hammerhead, and Walrus Man, Ponda Baba. Then there was supposed to be a second wave, which was Kitta Kid Kak, Dr. Evazan, and Wooher. And then instead of releasing those as individual sets, they released them as a 3-pack at Kmart. They bundled what was going to be the second wave of the individual figures at Walmart into a 3-pack at Kmart. And then they did a second 3-pack at Kmart, which was Blue Snaggletooth, Walrus Man again, Ponda Baba, and Obi-Wan.
I have those. Yeah, yes. I have those.
Okay.
There you go. Cool. Rad. Mystery solved.
Called Zutton in that set as well. Yes. So still waiting on the distillery. I still have the cardboard backdrops from that set. Making the Cantina. I was going to say it would be hilarious if they finally make a real Cantina playset, but it's based on the cheapo TV set from the holiday special.
Oh,
I would love that.
I wish that my smile at that had been captured because it just it was so evil a thought.
My soul hurts having said that now.
Oh man, that was.
But you could put your band there, your Cantina band there. They were there and they were singing playing their music so that B. Arthur could sing along to it.
Yeah.
Just one more round, friend, then homeward bound, friend. Don't forget me in your dreams, etc., etc. We all know it. We all love it.
Oh yeah, it's on my iPhone. It's my alarm clock.
Yes, but Hasbro did not stop there. Before any of this stuff was ever officially released, the special, Hasbro released Boba Fett animated debut as a figure in the 30th anniversary collection in 2007 in those beautiful baby blue hues and yellow colors from the cartoon. Nelvana reused a similar, not 100% exact, but a very similar design in the 1985 Droids cartoon, which Hasbro released in the Vintage Collection this past year. And Hasbro previously kind of reused the animated debut figure as a Droids figure in the Droid Factory line. That's a whole other story. They could easily just release that again. I'm sure they will on a Story of the Faithful Wiki card back, as long as they include the rifle.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I did a mock-up at one point with the awesome animated design. I think that'd be cool to see. Now that we're doing animated cards in the lineup.
Knowing that the serpent was on the table at one point with Kenner, I want that serpent.
Yeah.
I think that would be an amazing pack. Boba Fett with serpent.
It'd be giant. It would be
whatever
awesome.
It's called. Yeah.
Yes. So there's
HasLab.
Yes. There's a few other things that are in the line that go with that Boba Fett, kind of, sort of. We'll talk about wish list in a little bit, though.
For sure.
I'm dreaming. My Christmas wish list. I can't speak. It's getting longer by the second. Anyway, so the first mix of Star Wars and Christmas was not super successful, but it wasn't the last. Relevant here, Ralph McQuarrie illustrated a series of Lucasfilm Christmas cards starting in 1978, many of which have become iconic, and more importantly to this podcast, many of which have become Hasbro action figures. I'm going to run them down now, if you're not tired of my voice yet, but 1979's card, the second year, shows C-3PO wearing a Santa Claus outfit, and R2-D2 with some reindeer antlers tied to his head, which was created as the first holiday edition set by Hasbro in 2002, which includes a base backdrop and greeting card. 1980's card shows the droids helping Santa Claus, and while it didn't become an action figure set, it did become something equally amazing. An album, Christmas in the Stars, full of bangers like What Do You Get a Wookiee for Christmas When He Already Owns a Comb? And R2-D2, We Wish You a Merry Christmas, featuring the first performance of Bon Jovi, I think it is.
Really?
On an album. If you can believe that, yes, that's one of the crazy things about it.
Friggin' bovine Joni himself.
You can't really, he was part of the chorus or something, but.
That still counts.
Yes.
It's like Justin Timberlake being a Mouseketeer. It's like.
Yeah. So next year, brought in some Empire Strikes Back flair with Yoda dressed as Santa Claus. With a pack of toys on his back, the 1981 card became the 2003 Holiday Edition set, which also included a base and a greeting card. 1983's card shows an Ewok dressed as Santa Claus. And in a Just World, we'd have a figure of this, but we don't live in a Just World, so we don't have that figure. Moving on. Jumping all the way forward to 1994, that year's Macquarie card shows Jawas giving each other gifts. I got to know, were the gifts stolen from local moisture farmers? Not to stereotype Jawas, but is there a crying child Luke just out of frame with no Life Day gifts of his own?
I'm picturing like a Grinch-style story of like the Jawas,
Yes.
Their hearts growing 3 sizes that day as they steal Christmas and then they have to give it back.
That's got to be the next Studio Ghibli collaboration with Lucasfilm, is the Jawas.
It'll be a cool 3 minutes.
Yes. The Jawas steal Life Day. But that image became the 2004 Holiday Edition set with figures based on the Power of the Force 2 Jawa 2-pack with those sweet light-up eyes. But Hasbro changed the color of those eyes to have one with red and one with green. Very festive. Yet again with a stand and a greeting card. Lucasfilm continues to this day to release holiday cards, but the 4th and final Holiday Edition figure set isn't based on anything other than Hasbro's love of a wacky repaints. Released in 2005, the year of Darth Vader, it's a red Darth Vader. This was one at the time I remember people being like, oh, really? This is the precursor to Carbonized and Prototype Edition and all these crazy things we get now.
Not only that, it was a Power of the Force Darth, so it was an old Darth Vader figure.
It was a Power of the Jedi. It was the Emperor's Wrath figure.
Okay.
So it was 4 years old and it had been reused a bunch of times. But
they had a great one made that year.
Yes. Maybe they didn't want to get into the soft goods of it all. There was a couple
There
wacky repaints of Vader that year. There was a lava reflection one as well, and that was a Power of the Force. That was a 98 figure.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yes, yes. And then, the 2002 figure released as the Celebration 3 exclusive. A lot of Darth Vaders that year, the red one being the craziest of them all. And even crazier, I just wanted to read you can read the copy on the back of the card, which can only be described as truly deranged.
It is a festive time for the Empire. After a rough year of crushing rebel uprisings, terrorizing the Outer Rim, and choking incompetent underlings, Darth Vader decides that even a Dark Lord of the Sith needs to give in to the fun side of the Force. Donning his most celebratory red armor. This is insane, John. Donning his most celebratory red armor, he leads his Imperial forces to the ice planet of Hoth for some much-deserved holiday festivities. Vader uses his lightsaber and mastery of the Force to create the most detailed ice sculptures in the Galactic Empire, from TIE fighters to Star Destroyers. He even gives new meaning to snow troopers by creating an army of troopers from the snow. Thanks to Vader's expert planning, this year's Hoth Holiday Bash is primed to be the best the galaxy has ever known. What is that?
The prequels.
His lightsaber to carve ice?
Yes, the prequels told us so much about Darth Vader's backstory and history, but they didn't tell us about his expert party planning skills.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, I'm just picturing now. And Una Yoka, Annie. He's just like, what?
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yes. And the set also includes a base and a holiday card, but the card shows Vader making these snow troopers, which are just stormtroopers. He wasn't even making snow troopers. He was making snow stormtroopers. While wearing his regular black armor, they had the opportunity to make a card out of this set, and they just chose his regular. A lot of strange decisions in this one. We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close, but
oh boy,
where do you possibly go from there? From a red Darth Vader, Hasbro threw up their hands. They knew they couldn't top that, so they had to retire the concept.
For now.
Go out on top. Yeah, for now. But, well, for a little while.
Yeah.
So for years, other companies got in on the holiday mashup craze. We're not going to get into all of them, but Funko and Lego in particular put out a lot of holiday-themed goodies every year. Lego even released their own holiday special in 2020, centering on the sequel trilogy characters celebrating Life Day. I haven't actually seen that one. I've seen the other one a million times, but
it's a fun one. I'd recommend it. It's cute.
I got to check it out. It's the only post Rise of Skywalker content we're going to get anytime soon, sad to say, but hopefully not.
Well, unless that Damon Lindelof movie shakes out, but we all know how Star Wars movies that get announced seem to shake out these days.
Anytime somebody says, I hope that movie shakes out, it's delayed another 3 years. So
yeah, it's smash cut to the day this episode comes out. They're going to be like, the Damon Lindelof project is dead. So.
Yeah.
I cursed it. I'm sorry.
Sorry, thanks a lot. It's coal in our stockings. But there was a gift for 3.75-inch figure collectors, since Disney Parks picked up the baton and is running with it in their Droid Factory line.
Boy, howdy they are.
With at least one new Christmas-themed astromech droid every year since 2015. They also do Halloween droids. We didn't do a podcast about that. I apologize for that from the bottom of my heart. Maybe next year. But
next year. Yeah.
Yes. So first year, R2H15 stands for Holiday 15. Most of them follow that same pattern. See if you can keep up. The copy on the back of the cards says various things about them. The first two just say that they're in remote sub-zero environments. So canonically, we don't know where this guy's supposed to be, but it is mostly a white astromech with green, red, and gold details and a Santa Claus hat. Following up on that next year was R2H16. I don't know why I stressed the H. The H is the same. The 16 is the part that I should have stressed, but you get the idea. The red and the green on the dome were swapped, and the body was more red than white. It's got a cool little hat with ear flaps in red, white, and green. R3H17. Apparently, he serves the Royal Advisory Council on the palace at the palace on Naboo, and he looks appropriately elegant with white, gold, and pale green coloring. And the arm comes out of his head to hold a little mistletoe. How romantic! How sweet!
No.
Yes, for anyone who's shorter than an astromech droid, I don't know. Yoda and Yaddle. That's the Grogu origin story that we'd never needed.
Gross.
Yes. You want to take any of these? I'm just going down all of them.
No, go for it. I just want to tack one on when you're done.
All right. I love it. Oh, now I'm excited. All right. R4H18. So after the first year, they were just R2s. Then they started to upgrade the R units every year. They kind of got a broken streak for a while, but we'll get there. So R4H18 and Holiday 18, apparently from Canto Bight. It's a clear droid, which I love. Looks almost like it's carved from ice. I have a very soft spot for clear action figures. It's got the drink card on its shoulders. And these first four figures from 2015 to 2018 were repacked last year in a gift set with added red and white striped scarves. And if you're wondering if I bought them all over again for those scarves, you are right. I did. Did you buy that again too?
I didn't have them in the first place.
Okay.
So perfect. I did buy that set, but now I'm going back and filling in my droid collection. And that's another one I keep kicking myself. You tried to convince me so many times.
I did.
And you tried to help me out, and you did help me out on a few of them. But my stupid self thought, nah, I don't need that.
I don't want these. I'm never going to want these.
Buddy, like, you know me.
I should have forced it on you. That's my bad.
You should have. I sit here. All I do is just live here awash in shame and regret of figures missed. And I'm trying to make up for it. And it's making my life a little difficult.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I appreciate your efforts.
I'll buy them all from here on out for you.
Yeah.
But next year they switched it up. No more R series droids, astromechs, but a BB unit, BB-19H. Why is the H after the 19 this time? I don't know. But apparently this BB unit is somewhere in Maz's castle. So, a sequel figure somehow, kind of. A Maz's castle figure. It's got a red body with a gold head. Looks kind of just like a Christmas ornament. Next year, another BB unit, BB-H20, H20. Apparently he worked with the Resistance on Crate. Very simple red and white color scheme. Kind of a peppermint situation going on.
I think it's funny that the one with H2O in its name is on the salt planet.
Yes.
So.
Ironic, appropriate. But yes, matches the red and white of Crate. kind of like when they do that. If we weren't wacky enough, now we're starting to get real wacky. We got last year, 2021, got R5D33R. He's a reindeer. Apparently he works on Hoth. Took him that long to get to a Hoth figure. It's white, red, and kind of a brownish gold with antlers, freaking reindeer antlers on his cap, reminiscent of the holiday R2D2 of years gone by. This year's droid, I'll just say, get it out of the way. That was 7 droids after 2021. 2022 doubled that with 7 new holiday droids this year. We're talking about Christmas before Thanksgiving. I am thankful for Disney Parks Droid Factory for doing that. That's just a gift to us all.
Yeah.
But so the single carded one is R6S0, R6 Snow from Vandor. So a solo figure in the year of our Lord 2022. He's a snowman. He's a freaking snowman. He's got a top hat, a carrot nose, coal black buttons, stick brown arms, and a red scarf to top it off. I just love him.
So good.
And yes, so the other 6 are an advent calendar, which I still have not opened. We've talked about it a little bit on the show before. Skip ahead if you don't want to hear the spoilers that we already talked about. Includes droids. I really can't tell what exactly they're supposed to be. It's got droids that kind of look like Santa Claus, kind of an elf, a nutcracker. General seasonal festivity here. There is a C1 unit, an R4, an R5, an R6, a BB unit, and a gonk droid, a pre-built gonk droid that looks like a wrapped present.
That's the winner for me. I love that one.
The pièce de résistance. I love it.
I do want to throw out that I do have my very own special, unique Christmas droid, courtesy of you, John. You built some droids and hooked me up, and I have dubbed this one because I don't really adhere to the correct droid naming schemes. RX M4S. Yes, it's my own personal Christmas droid, courtesy of you. I will post a photo of that when this episode drops. So I'm
Santa Claus.
Yes, you are.
I'm basically spreading joy throughout the whole world. At least talking about Astromechs and getting you Astromechs and making sure you have the Astromechs you need. So you love it. Yeah. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. As we know, yes, sadder days ahead. Hasbro did not get out of the holiday game entirely. Black Series is now doing that sort of thing. What's up?
Sad as a point of view.
Yes. Well, no, I don't know. And I do like this stuff, clearly. I like the weird stuff, the wacky stuff. As long as we're getting, a full meal of main characters, super articulated characters with all ankles that can, bend around their necks or whatever we want now. But this stuff is a nice side treat. It's a fun little thing that adds a little bit of wackiness and joy into my collection. So I love to get them. But the Black Series is doing a lot of it. Of the holiday edition. There was 5 figures in 2020, all trooper repaints in garish red and green with little buddy accessories and photoreal ugly Christmas sweaters, which were, just to run them down, you can skip ahead if you're really triggered by the Black Series talk. A Phase 2 clone trooper with a porg in a penguin colors with a red scarf, an Imperial Stormtrooper with a white porg, a range trooper that looks like Santa with Dio that looks like Rudolph, Snow Trooper with a porg, another penguin colored one with green scarf, and Sith Trooper with Babu Frick.
I actually did get all these in 2020. I remember.
Yes.
I enjoyed them enough. I thought they were meh, but I ended up getting them. I remember going to a Walmart and finding the Walmart one with you. Because you were missing that one.
Yes, it was very difficult. I couldn't find that one for some reason. And then, we were both in town and...
You almost missed it too, because there was only one and it was just laying there and I saw it. And yes, I remember that vividly.
Away from the Star Wars aisle, it was a lot of repacks and whatnot. Stuff. I was going to say stuff we didn't need, and then clearly you don't need the Christmas stuff either. But that was over in the Christmas section. It was like laying on its back. It was very strange.
Yeah.
In what could only be described as a Christmas miracle.
Ooh, God bless us. But it's also worth noting that these were all different retailers. So
yes, I did not write those down.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
You had to hunt them down.
Yep.
And they repeated that with another wave. So 2021 was supposed to have 5 more, but they were going to be late to the party due to the global logistics shipping crisis.
They still eked out somewhere.
They eked out, yes. So there's a I believe it was a Frankensons, which is a big collectible warehouse show over here in LA. And there's one guy who always gets stuff early. I don't know if he gets it from Asia or whatever. what his connections are. But yes, they showed up, and everyone was like, "Are these going to happen?" And then I remember somebody asked Hasbro about it at one of the Q&As, and they were like, "If we do have more figures, we're going to announce them for the holiday season." So
we know you're looking at them. We know you know they exist. We know you know what they are, but we're going to pretend that we don't know what you're talking about.
yes, but
yeah, what's a little gaslighting between friends?
So there were 5 figures that were leaked last year and were released this year along with a 6th. So if you look at the date stamps on them, 5 of them were produced last year before Christmas. I guess just not early enough before Christmas. And the Clone Trooper gingerbread guy was produced this year, which is just very strange story. I want to hear more about the behind the scenes on that. But those were, in addition to the new Phase 2 Clone Trooper, again, now a gingerbread man with a Santa suit Porg. The other 5 are a Wookiee with yet another Porg, both in the white and blue Abominable Snowman colors. The Rudolph Company will be suing you here shortly, Hasbro. A Mandalorian warrior with a white Bogling. A Protocol droid with a BD unit. A First Order Stormtrooper with a mouse droid, which has not yet shipped from Amazon. And a Biker Scout with Grogu, which is a Walmart exclusive that for some reason somehow ended up shipping from Hasbro Pulse in place of some orders of, I believe, the Protocol droid. So very
Walmart's
strange situation.
Walmart.
Yeah.
Always will.
But yeah, kind of fun. Not necessarily something I want to see in TVC. Those I consider more like Christmas decorations than like part of the line, I guess.
Yeah.
It's kind of how I have to think of it.
And I mean, they even have little to and from like gift tags built into the box, right? Yeah, like you can write it on there if you want. They're cute. They're harmless. You know, it's easy for me to say that they don't take away from TVC. They're harmless. I don't know. I did see the Target one in stores this week.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah, I didn't. I ended up not getting it. I mean, whatever. The first round was enough for me. I do appreciate what they're trying to do, though. I'm glad that they're at least trying to keep that little dream alive of holiday figures. And they branched out to Halloween this year. So
yes, which only one of the Halloween figures has actually shipped. I think the other one was like, again, a Walmart exclusive, has been showing up at like Target somehow.
Okay.
I saw that on a Yak Face post. But so yeah, I don't know. Some of this Christmas stuff, it is kind of right up my alley. I like some of the kitschy, goofy stuff. Again, as long as it doesn't take away anything from the main figures from the movies, shows, and everything else. But it is interesting, how these are just straight up holiday Christmas figures, whereas Disney kind of tries to say, maybe this droid was kind of behind the scenes on Hoth or on Vandor or whatever. Just the different approaches, I think, are kind of interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
well, do you want to talk about the holiest of holy days that we are having right now, Life Day itself proper? We should probably talk about some of the cultural impacts of Life Day.
Yes. Today, you want to take this a little bit?
Yeah. So, the holiday special, while, as we've said multiple times, not ever officially released, infamously hated by George, where what was the quote that circled for the longest time about how he wanted to get every copy and burn them?
Smash it with a hammer or something. Unattributed, never actually confirmed, but that was that's the story. That's the legend, if you will.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
the
not
mythos
canon.
Surrounding this is it's interesting. But the Mandalorian, we know that a lot of the Favreau and Filoni stuff, they like to do some deep cuts. Mandalorian has referenced the holiday special a number of times. The Mithril wanting to get home before Life Day, and Mando's rifle being based on Boba's rifle from the cartoon.
There's a great behind the scenes clip of Jon Favreau showing George Lucas that when he's on set visiting them as they're making the Mandalorian. He's like, dude, look, it's from the holiday special. And George is like, yeah, I had nothing to do with that. George is like totally unimpressed.
George is just like, $4 billion, $4 billion.
Yeah.
But Chewbacca's family is canon. Mala Tobuk, Mala, has been mentioned a bunch. I don't think she's ever properly appeared anywhere, but she has been mentioned. However, Lumpy, now known as Waru instead of, Lumpy, what a name.
Lumpa-Waru, he took the beginning and now he took the end. Yeah.
Yes, he made his canon debut in the 2017 book Aftermath Life Debt. And then Itchy was mentioned in Solo, a Star Wars story.
Mm-hmm.
However, he was mentioned in a line of Chewbacca's dialogue, so it's fitting that his name is lost in the Wookiee gobbledygook. I'm sorry, I mean Shirirook.
Yes.
Yeah, because let's also, did we mention the fact that like the first 40 minutes of the holiday special is all in no subtitles, Wookiee speak.
As they're just, before they even start watching stuff, or as they're watching stuff without any basic English dialogue. It's just them interacting with each other. The Lumpy, flying his little X-Wing toy near Itchy, who doesn't want him there, or trying to steal cookies from Mala, who doesn't want him to spoil his dinner. It's a lot. It's an endurance test for sure.
It's called visual storytelling.
It's a tone poem.
You got to watch it. That's what the message of the holiday special was. You got to watch things.
Got to watch it.
Yeah. But you mentioned here too, you have on the notes, the Life Day Treasury.
I haven't read it, but it was a little short story collection that was published last year. And it's got some cool artwork on the back of Chewie and his family celebrating the holiday. Which
they got Phil Noto to do some really good art. I never thought I would see one of my favorite comic book artists realizing things from the holiday special.
Yes, but what a wonderful time to be alive. This truly, truly is.
At times.
Yes. And as I saw last weekend in Disneyland, Disney has started to add Life Day items into Galaxy's Edge this year and last. Mainly Chewbacca in his red robes, which they're kind of pushing as a Batu thing. I don't think he's ever actually appeared in costume in the red robes. Maybe the day this comes out, we will see him there. That would be truly amazing. But he is available as a plush toy, as a Funko Pop with flocked fur to make it even cooler. Christmas tree ornaments and various pieces of clothing.
I mean, you can get yourself the red robe to wear. All this stuff is available on shopdisney.com. Money, please.
Yes, we do not get a kickback, but we just get to talk about talking about the holiday special is payment enough. Okay.
Yeah.
You can also get the orb that the Wookiees hold during the celebration. Love a good orb.
Life Day is all about pondering that orb.
I think they even released it as a coffee cup. I think if they haven't, they should.
I did. I don't know if I hit order yet, but I do have a couple of the mugs in my cart right now because I am planning on getting them so I have something to drink tea and coffee out of at work.
Nice.
Because I realize I don't have a work-specific mug and there's no time like the present.
Seriously.
Life Day, man. Life Day. You got to celebrate it. Like I said, it's every day if you live the right way. So
I really debated with myself whether to get the Chewie in Life Day robes Funko Pop when I was on at the Star Trader last week, and I did not.
Buddy, I
regret it every second of every day.
Don't regret it, because I also thought about getting, because it's available online. But then I sit there and I look at the box of the remnants of Funko Pops that I have left over, because I just went nuts at a certain point buying hundreds of them, and I can't get rid of them fast enough.
I never had hundreds, but I would always pick up one or two here and there, just like characters that I liked. And then I just moved a tub of them into a storage unit today because I don't know.
What do you do?
I'm all about the Christmas themed astromech droid figures. Okay, I don't know what these Funko Pop people are doing, but
those are enough for you. I do think though there is a missed opportunity in merch.
Yes.
For the holiday special. Why have they not released a VR headset? Come on, Disney, you like money, don't you? Like I would imagine getting a holiday special like Wookiee VR headset so that you can fully, enjoy the Disney Plus. Nothing screams I love watching Andor and serious adult Star Wars than watching it on a holiday special VR headset. It'd be even better if they had the holiday special built in as an Easter egg in the headset.
That would be amazing.
If you knew how to navigate the menu, you could find it.
Yes, just the Diane Carroll performance right there. Perfect gift for Grandpa right there.
I'll be awaiting my check.
Yes.
So, you're welcome.
So in addition to that amazing idea, do you want to see any other figures from the special?
Yes, it's a complicated answer, but long story short, yes, I would.
I mean, long lists, et cetera, et cetera.
Not, and again, caveat here, not at the expense of anything else, but beyond Boba, Akmina and Gormanda would be incredible. I think even an Imperial officer, just a generic Imperial officer with a film out from the holiday special on the card, would make for a fun little reuse of the new Imperial officer sculpt.
One of those guys, always to bring it back to the mustache, but one of the officers has an incredibly thick 70s mustache that I would love to see recreated.
And none of them have names, so I'm going to put that out there. right now, Hasbro, if you ever listen to this, name that officer John Lindquist or some variation of.
Just with a bunch of expanded universe apostrophes thrown in there.
Yes.
Willy-nilly.
John Lindquist.
I would love it. He could have a little holographic Jefferson Starship thing.
It would be way fun. I think that would be neat. I mean, also another one, you know, I think I mentioned it on the next part about holiday figures and TVC, but a Chewbacca, just a repack of Chewbacca with a soft goods red robe would be so simple to accomplish. And it would go a long way to being a fun little wink and a nod of a novelty figure. I would enjoy that.
And Lucasfilm is open to merchandising that look now. So I think, you know, the time is in the next couple of years if they're continuing to do Life Day stuff at the parks, maybe even a Galaxy's Edge exclusive or something if they don't really want to do it. Every year on November 17th, the Face always posts different lineups of holiday special characters from the end of the film, end of the special. Which is really just the heroes in their regular New Hope looks, plus Chewie in his red robes. But you can...
And in worse lighting.
Yes. But if you want to pop off Chewie's head, you could probably put the Imperial Emperor's Royal Guard robe on there. That's as close as we're going to get. A little easy custom right there. Give him the orb.
I have extras of both. I guess I should do that.
Yes, give him the orb from the end of Phantom Menace that Boss Nass and Queen Amidala hand off to each other. But they did make that in 2004.
Star Orbs. That's the real name of the franchise.
I'm sure there's some connection between those orbs. I'm not sure what it is. The Orb of Peace and the Orb of Life. I don't know. But
are they like the Infinity Stones? Are we going to get an Infinity War?
That's the next phase of Star Wars. That's what Lindelof is working on right now.
Oh, I hate it. I want to see it. Give me that movie.
But I would love to see Chewie's family in the line. I mean, that was what they were going to do 40 years ago. Why not do it now? Because it would make money. But it would make so much money. It would be awesome.
Because it would make money.
I would love it. You could reuse, just like they were going to, they could reuse Chewie's arms and legs at least. From still 2004, still milking that sculpt. But yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff they could do. They could, some of the Cantina figures. If a Teak Sid Bomb with new arms, why not?
Oh, that'd be so stupid. I'd love it.
The Cantina Band, just on a slightly different card, again with worse lighting. Why not? Krellman, who's the guy who's in love with Akmina in the bar, come back soon. I'll be waiting. But where you actually pour liquid in his head and he drinks it that way. That would be amazing. That would be awesome.
Gross. The 70s were a weird time, man.
They're very weird. Yeah. So this is incredibly 70s Star Wars right there. And I love it. That's just great stuff. It's just great.
It is. Well, hey, great stuff. This has been a great chat. You ready to kind of wind it down a little bit, John?
Yes.
Okay. Any final thoughts?
Well, are there other non-holiday special holiday figures you want to see in TVC? I guess we kind of talked about it. I don't need to see those Trooper repaints.
Yeah.
Again, necessarily.
No. And like I said, not at the expense. I don't trust Hasbro to do it without sacrificing something more important. If that makes sense. I wish I did. They're just not right there yet. But Disney Droids mostly scratch the itch, the itchy, if you will, for me.
I will.
As a 3 3/4 inch collector. So
yeah, I think it's something that they need to do sparingly. I think 5 or 6 Black Series holiday figures a year is a little much.
Yeah, especially at those prices that you're paying what $140 a year for.
I think the 7 Disney Droids this year are a little more palatable because it's 2 packages. It's 2 releases, a single carded figure and then a multi-pack and advent calendar. So it's not just 7 different individual releases. So,
plus the packaging on the advent calendar is technically interactive. So
yes.
It's technically the product.
I will be doing that every day in December.
I haven't opened mine yet either. So I didn't intend to do it that way, but I will. I'll be right there with you, John.
Hell yeah.
So when do we start doing that? Life Day?
The 1st. When you start? December 1st. Yes.
Okay. Shows how many advent calendars I've done in my life.
Yes. I haven't done any. I think I mentioned before, but yeah, they also did a Microforce Galaxy one. No, not Microforce Galaxy. What was it called? Microforce? What's the little guys?
Yeah, I thought it was Microforce.
Now there's Micro Galaxy Squadron. I'm so confused.
Yeah. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I also don't care. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Microforce. Anyway.
No. All right.
You were
Well,
on a
that
roll
seems.
and I killed it. Yeah.
No, that's all good. I think that seems like a good place to kind of start putting a button on this episode. Just kind of the obligatory stuff that you come to expect without a holiday or life day theme. If you haven't already, please rate and review the show via your preferred platform to make it super easy for you. We have put a link in our link tree that you can find at our Instagram bio. It does really help us out getting those ratings and reviews. And it could potentially help you out in regards to this next bit. You've listened to the previous episode. You've watched the recent live stream, and now you've listened to this. So I'm sure you're sick of hearing that our 10,000 follower giveaway is imminent, but it really is. Be on the lookout on Monday, November 21st, over on our Instagram page, which is at SWTVC, just in case you've somehow forgotten, because there may very well be something tangible for this long gestating giveaway. And there may be some things you can do to earn yourself more than one entry. Just saying. Yeah. Gasp. Speaking of Instagram, John, what do we have coming up on our docket over there?
So besides sharing the daily submissions, thank you, Tyler and Lewis, I've just recently finished the semi-annual Finish the 96 deep dives, and we're about to jump headlong into some balance of scale stuff for the month of December. Because everyone loves looking at data, graphs, and figures we don't have during the holiday season.
Speaking of figures that we don't have...
Yeah, January is closer than I'd like to admit, but we all know what January means. Top 25 submissions.
I'll just say it's never too early to get started on yours. I know I've already taken some stabs at mine. I wonder if Ben will be on the bracket again this year.
Solo or Kenobi?
Yes. Anyway, that will do it for another episode of the SWTVC podcast. To shake things up a little bit, instead of the usual breathless rattling of hashtags, I'll leave you all with this. We celebrate a day of peace, a day of harmony, a day of joy that we can all share together, joyously. A day that takes us through the darkness, a day that leads us into might, a day that makes us want to celebrate the light. A day that brings the promise that one day we'll be free to live, to laugh, to dream, to grow, to trust, to love, to be, and to keep 375 alive.
Pure poetry.
It rhymes.
Happy Life Day.
And may the Force be with you.